Good morning, afternoon, everybody. This is Flavio at NatureWorks, and during the next 15 minutes, I'm going to talk about a successful story and why we think compostable Ingeo biopolymer is changing the single-serve beverage market. Back in December 2019, the New York Times released a 5-minute video on recycling, which they described as the greatest trick corporation ever played was making consumers think that could recycle the products. So the point that the New York Times is making is that corporation led us to believe that the product we use, marked as recyclable, were indeed recycled, generating what they define a completely wrong belief and established a guilt-free consumption among consumers. Recently, one of the most recognized and reputable organizations, the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, has published a new study on circular economy. And the focus, once again, is the elimination, innovation, and circularity of packaging. In this recent published study, the Ellen MacArthur Foundation has set out 5 universal circular economy policy goals that provide a framework for national governments, cities, and business to create a transition that fosters innovation and decouples growth from finite resources consumption and environmental degradation. So in particular, the focus of the attention is to create a common direction of travel. And one of the main goals is to shift away from single-use applications. Talking about single-use, let's be frank, single-serve beverages has been facing some serious challenge to fit and accomplish the circular economy framework, and it's very likely that this will suffer increasing pressure even from lawmakers, which might change considerably its future growth and existence. So we should ask ourselves if the single-serve beverages industry is ready to finally create a common direction of travel. Since the introduction of the first single-dose brewers back in '89, convenience has been one of the key success factors of single-serving. And only recently, end-of-life related topics have been addressed by the industry with mixed results. So despite the efforts, we still see today that even within the same corporation, the message is far from being common. So honestly speaking, the feeling is that the battle among plastic, aluminum, and bioplastics might lead to unpredictable results, potentially similar to the ones observed with the food service industry with bans and regulations. So let's first analyze the global marketing figures. Today, polypropylene is estimated to be by far the material of choice with a market share of approximately 75%, followed by other 2 alternatives, aluminum and bioplastics. So coffee brands are trying to understand which material that can be sustainable in the long run and are investing resources and money in end-of-life initiatives that include composting with organic waste bin, recycling with plastics, and adopt take-back programs. But the result is that these initiatives, despite being well articulated, end up creating confusion to the consumer and are far from being representing a common direction of travel. Plus, such lack of common direction has been reflected also on strong criticism from media, NGOs, socials, and brands. So in the next slide, I'm gonna quickly show you some examples of such criticism. The first example is compostable capsules. They have been blamed for not delivering what they promise. So in some way, someone said that they are not compostable at all. Others that they are only compostable at our processing plants, while others affirm that even uncompostable variants won't decompose in most composting bin. So similarly, the polypropylene variant has received all sorts of criticism. In this article published last year, the journalist insists that it makes little sense to ask the consumer to take apart the capsules and allow recycling, knowing that the capsule was designed for convenience. And finally, last slide on this point, when it comes to aluminum, and despite some efforts made by some leading companies, there is still some skepticism regarding the low recycling rate associated with aluminum capsule, as well as the concerns regarding what happens to the vast majority of capsules that won't get recycled and then will end up in landfill or incinerated. In this case, the attack comes directly from a well-known European brand owner who actually decided to completely withdraw from capsules. So where should the market be heading to? Well, the impression is that we are not focusing the attention where we probably should. If we carefully observe this market, we'll notice that there is a common element that we keep forgetting, and it is coffee. And when we think about coffee, we need also to keep in mind the long voyage that those coffee beans have taken. They were planted, harvested, collected, processed, dried, milled, exported, tasted, roasted, grinded, and finally filled in a capsule, shipped again to the final retailers, and brew it in your nice cup of coffee. So speaking of capsules, it's important to keep in mind that the coffee contents can be up to 5 times the total capsule weight. How can we then think about not recovering entirely, and not just 20 or 40%, that valuable spent coffee that we leave behind every time we drink a nice coffee from a convenient capsule? How can we make sure recycling hurdles won't stop from recovering that unique nutrients, coffee? Well, there is only one way, and it's called composting. And that's the only elegant way and simple to make sure that the spent coffee goes back to the soil. So what is compost? Compost is stabilized organic residue used in arable soils to improve fertility through increasing soil organic matter content. I think it sounds very nice. But there is more, and those of you who have watched Kiss the Ground in Netflix probably already know what I'm referring to. It's been proved that a unique and powerful element to reestablish CO2 balance in the atmosphere is right under our feet. It's soil. Plants absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and stabilize it in the soil. So soils can indeed offset greenhouse gases emission, and compost can be a key element to allow and enhance such offset. So the tea industry, actually, if we look at it, face similar problems and has in a way showed us the way. Compostable tea bags are today replacing non-degradable ones, and industrial composting has been established as the preferred end-of-life option for the used tea bags. So why do we want to reinvent the wheel if we can just benefit from such great synergies? So this led me to the next slide, where I want to show you a little bit NatureWorks' role and our commitments. And NatureWorks, we have been working in the biosourced, bio-based market for a very long time. Not just manufacturing, but developing application. Coffee and tea bags is just one of the selected markets where we decided to focus, given the undoubted advantage that Ingeo PLA brings. So Ingeo, as a matter of fact, has the privilege to be at the core of most of the compostable capsule and tea bags developments. Today, you can find Ingeo in both soft and rigid formats, spanning from tea bags, coffee pads, coffee pods, capsule body, leading material, and fiber filters. And NatureWorks manufactures the Ingeo Biopolymer and is actively engaged with multiple partners to develop performing solutions for the industry. In coffee, our goal is to proactively engage with roasters and brands to understand their needs and make sure that they have access to Ingeo bio-based turnkey solutions. And talking about turnkey solutions, thanks to the involvement and collaboration with our partners, today roasters globally can rely on well-developed and tested Ingeo coffee capsules, available for multiple brewing systems. Extensive tests and adjustments have been run to find the needed balance and make sure the Ingeo-based capsules perform well both in assembling and filling lines, as well as in any of the brewing system. For this, we have focused on the taste experience first and made sure that the Ingeo biopolymer would perform well in any selected brewing systems and was able to deliver the ideal cup of coffee, offering an extended shelf life to roasters. The system had to be safe from all points of view, and for this, we eliminated the risk of migrations into the brewed coffee. Finally, we made sure the Ingeo-based capsule met worldwide compostable standards. A key investment that NatureWorks made was to develop a data acquisition system. What is a DAQ? It's a system that allows us to understand how a capsule behaves in any given brewing systems. Here, for example, you can see how the system is capable of recording the pressure, the grams of coffee brewed, as well as any leakage. So such information is precious as it allows us and our partners to do comparative simulations, and adjust the capsules and its elements to make sure that the quality of the brewed coffee is guaranteed. Here is an example of how we run a comparison using 3 different lead materials. So lead C, in this case, the one in the middle, was clearly the one offering the best balance and was the one delivering an ideal coffee extraction. And we have prepared a short video to show you how the DAQ system works and how we can use it to develop performing solutions together with our partners. And this is the result of what I would define a successful, long-lasting collaboration with one of our key partners. Flo is a well-known European integrated thermoforming company who is capable today to offer a family of thermoform barrier compostable Ingeo-based capsules. So recently, they have completed the development of the Ingeo-based Nespresso thermoform capsules that I'm showing here. It's a multi-layer structure that allows optimal barrier properties for an extended coffee shelf life. Interesting here is that the outer layer guarantees excellent leakage seal, which is a key aspect that ensures a perfect brewing. So the capsule, together with the leading material, has now been certified according to EN 13432 standards. So the solution offered by Flo have been already adapted by key roasters. Here is an example of the Italian roaster Scovim, who over 1 year ago launched their Ingeo-based Amodo Mio compostable capsule in Italy. And their capsule is actually today sold at main national retailers. So this is my last slide, and I just want to reinforce our message. We really believe that performance and sustainability are available today without any compromise to any roaster. So thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. If you have any question, please reach out to us. Here is my contact details, and I hope to talk to you soon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.